CatSynth TV.
Hey everybody, it's your guest reviewer JB here for CatSynth TV. Today we're going to be taking a look at a few works by Jerry King. Before we get started on that, I want to ask you to please subscribe to this channel for more cultural content coming out regularly. Please consider underwriting the efforts here. There are links to Patreon and Ko-Fi right down here below. Got a lot of material to cover, so let's go right into it. Today we're looking at a few works by Jerry King. Jerry King, a composer, guitarist, bassist, based out of Wisconsin. We talked about him obliquely when we looked at Moon X. Remember the Moon X review? If you haven't looked at the Moon X review, please do. Put a link to that right up here. Okay, in relation to Moon X, in addition to Dave Newhouse, whom I mentioned many times, I was terribly remiss not to mention the contribution of Jerry King. Jerry King, incredible musician, as I said, guitarist, composer, studio maven up there in Wisconsin, doing his thing. A man with a very wonderful and uplifting sense of music and humor, and it's infused in everything that this guy touches. We're going to take a look at three very different CDs today, things that I got from his Bandcamp page. You can find a link to that at the end. The first thing we're going to look at is, since we talked about Moon X before, I want to talk about the Moon Men. The Moon Men was, of course, the band that more or less morphed into Moon X, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Moon Men in an album called 3. Now this one, like I said, I heard the Moon X album, and I had to get it. It was one of those things. I went out and sought it out, and because it has that very, there's very composed sense to it, this very flowing sense to it, and then, okay, Moon Men, what's this one going to be like? Oh man, I'm telling you, this one was just something really different. This was, what would I compare this to? Back in the 90s, I would just buy all of these, records based on who played on them. Let's say, for example, it was like David Moss and Tom Cora or something like that. And I'd get one of these records and it would be this kind of freewheeling, improvisation thing. And it's like, I'm not saying it sounds anything like those particular players, but it's got that same sense of adventurous exploration. It's like, let's see where this goes, the rules be damned, or so to speak. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just all over the place. It's just like, man, this was totally out of left field as far as what my expectations were, but that's what you want. That's what you want sometimes, man. You don't want to know what it's going to sound like all the time when you get one of these albums. And it's like this one, wow, pleasant surprise. Next one we're going to look at is Jerry's own, the projects that he releases under his own leadership. He calls OverJupiter. Today we're taking a look at two other albums released under that particular title. This one we're going to look at now is called Short Stories for Tall Aliens, and this one was done in collaboration with John Shirley. Now, John Shirley, I had to look that up. I mean, who is John Shirley? I don't know what the name didn't ring a bell. I had to look it up. He's a lyricist and composer, a writer who worked in collaboration with Blue Oyster Cult. Blue Oyster Cult? What, are you kidding me? More cowbell, man. No, okay, that joke's been done to death, so pretend I didn't say that. Okay, but anyways, Blue Oyster Cult, fantastic band from the 70s, always had very interesting kind of lyrical themes, very science fiction themes, and might I add, in honor of this being sort of a science fiction music kind of theme thing, you can see I have my goatee here because we're actually filming this in the evil alternate universe. You know what I'm talking about? The evil alternate universe. Hey! All right, back on track. This one, Short Stories for Tall Aliens, this one's very different from Moon X or Moon Man or anything. This is very much more of a, John Shirley's doing a lot of the time his kind of spoken thing over there, kind of his spoken rap on it. I don't think when I say rap, don't think I'm talking about hip hop. I'm talking about more of kind of a beat rap kind of thing, maybe kind of Patti Smith kind of, around there, kind of poetry with music flowing underneath it. Wonderful stuff, totally different from the other two albums that I was familiar with. But this third one we're going to look at today, Jupiter Rising, Fifth Mass from the Sun, this is the one. This is right here, man. This is the one. This is the one that has all the elements on there. There's just, you know, there's kind of more, there's the improv elements. There's the very kind of technical prog rock elements. There's like some just screaming guitar, you know, classic guitar lead kind of things. And there's also the weird stuff, you know, there's the weird stuff all over the place. There's a couple tracks with banging sheet metal and stuff like that all over there. It's like, man, I love this stuff. So this is the one, man. For me, this is the one that's at the pinnacle of them all. Let's just take a quick look at the covers here. Moon Man 3, lovely. You can see the science fiction art there. Short stories for tall aliens, again, looking at the front and the back. You know, we got a theme going here. We have a very strong visual identity for this stuff. Cloud Over Jupiter, Jupiter Rising, the masterpiece amongst the three here for me. This is the wonderful one. Just all amazing stuff. Wrapping it up, we've been looking at works by Jerry King, guitarist, bassist, composer extraordinaire. All worth seeking out. Please do.
To find out more about Cloud Over Jupiter, Moon Men, and other projects by Jerry King, please visit his website and check out the description below this video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to CatSynth TV.
Hey, you're watching CatSynth TV!